Hi there, Blaze here. Thanks for joining my next devlog of space shooter mobile game where you steer the drone and fight against the aliens. Before we start, just want to remind that this game is inspired by games like Space Invaders or Space Impact, and the release date is predicted to be in the second half of this year. Oh yeah, just a few weeks and we are done with this project. The title of this video means making game looks better. So I will start with this. Just look at how the game looked at the end of 6 months. Take care about how the world was generated. Tiles are fitting neighbors, but the problem was that this terrain looked very chaotic. Grass next to water, only one tile of biome, triple connections between different heights, it's not how it should look. And here the purling noise comes. I don't want to talk too much about this purling noise in this video, but you need to know that this can be used to generate height map, which then can be easily used to generate specified tile on specified height. In my game there are 4 types of tiles. There is water, and it's on the lowest height cause it represents sea and oceans. Then we have sand, which is connector between grass, which is default type and earlier mentioned water. Last but not least is hill, which gives the map a sense of 3-dimensionality. Just using the height map changed the look of terrain a lot, but I decided to change sprites also because those are from early version of game with poor connections, and because of using purling noise I don't really need triple connections anymore, so I can just delete them. And the good thing is that those tiles are animated now. As you can see, I change edges, and the most visible change is with hills, which are now the same color as grass, but because of new edges they look more like hills and not as dark cow poo anymore. Another big change was adding props with props generating system, and OMG, this was so much tiring. I made a weekly break from gamedev when I finished it. I also enjoyed some cycling because the weather was fine for a few days. Okay, let's back to the props. Props are generated on tile map also, but as you can see they are different sizes, and this was one of biggest problems. I finally got it, and maybe it's a good opportunity to create tutorial about managing tiles in different sizes. And that's all about visual changes. Let's jump to minor changes I made this month. I implemented game state machine. This is just a simple enum with values for playing or pause. I regret that I implement this as late because many changes for today use timescale instead of game state. The problem with timescale is that some things don't work with scale set to 0. For example, some animations. Another thing is that I implemented custom random system because I need 3 types of random values. Seed dependent value, which is used when generating words. Seed independent value, which is used when I need something totally randomized like sprite animations or some test values. And third type is something between them. It is seed based value, but it changes between randomizations in specified way. So this is kind of interesting, so I need to talk more about this. Okay, so there is probably no mystery when it comes to seed independent value generator, because this is the default one and it uses time from system, so every randomization gets you another value. Let's assume that we want to randomize value between 1 and 100, so for each round we have, for example, 5, 7, 89, 77, 2. And this is okay, we know that system. Seed dependent value generator isn't probably mystery as well, because it generates always the same value for specified seed. So let's assume that we have a seed 55 and we will in each game run get the same value. So let's say that this will be 1. When we change the seed, for example 57, we will get, for example, 6 for each run. And this is no mystery as well. For generating word, this is the best option because I have many levels in my game, so I get the number of the level and set it as a seed. So we always have the same tile map generated on the background. This is good to generate some random values across the game when we need to be unique. But let's say we need to generate props for the game, because this is why I implemented seed dependent incremented value generator. And let's assume that we have few props, prop A, B and C. Now we will run the game. This is our first run, second run, and let's say third or next one. We want to generate 5 props, 5 randomization. Now, if I will use seed independent value, this will generate, for example, these props. But when I will run this game for the second time, I will get another sequence, and next another 2. And this is not good because I want to have the same props in every word depending on that seed, because I want to generate word in the same way for every player and for every game you play. This word should look always the same. So we can go with seed dependent value. No, because when the first run is played, we'll get, for example, A Of course, for second and for any other we get A also, but because we use seed, we will get A in every generation. And this is not good, because I want to have all these props on the world. So I prepared this system which use algorithm that we have seed, which is set for the game. It is world or level or mission, call it as you want. And I also have incrementator, which is 0 for the beginning. So now for the first run, we will get a value from seed, but for another runs, we will get seed plus 1, seed plus 2. Let's assume that this seed is number 505. So here we have 505, here 506, and 507. When we will run the game again, we will get the same values because base seed is still 505 and we just add some values to this seed. So this will work in the way that for first run we will get, for example, BC, A, CB, and for every next one we will get the same values. So we will always have the same props generated in the same locations, the same props, but they are unique across the map. This was needed for generating props, and this is one of the reasons why this prop system was such complicated. At the end I also fixed some small bugs, updated Unity to 2021.3.19 version and imported some external packages, but I will tell you more about it in the upcoming videos. And that's all folks for today. I know this devlog is different than previous one, but we're coming to the end of this project and the devlog series will also end soon. However, next one will be released in May, so hit the thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe to stay tuned. See you soon, bye!